And we're back. We're still talking to Brew here about his brand new LP that's coming out, Legacy. And Brew, one of the things I didn't ask you was,
Uh,
do we have a release date or what?
oh yeah, December 1st. The first
Brilliant.
December, depending where you are. Yeah, the first December, the very first day of December, and it's on pre-save. So
On
I'm sure the
so
links are
so
around, floating around in the interweb world.
on Tinternet, as Peter Kay would say.
It's
So what?
internet.
So in relation to, is there we'll do the formalities and the old administration, as they do say. Do we have physical releases, or is it all digital?
Unfortunately, it's all digital.
It's all digital. Good.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
kids can't handle vinyl apparently, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I should say.
That
I don't know. To me, I think it's very weird. I mean, if I were a new generation kid today, I'd only be dealing with digital. Uh, I'd be like, "Where's the vinyl, dude?
yeah, yeah.
Where's the cassette? Even better."
Yeah. So right. So we're going to talk about track 4, which is called
Mm.
Scraping. And
Oh,
one of the things that sort of got me straight away at this, lyric wise, is you shouting at people. Not I'm using that metaphorically. You
uh,
shouting at people, give me fivers, tenors, whatever you've got.
yeah, yeah. Whatever you can spare.
Yeah.
In other words, give me money, give some cash, because
Yeah.
we're all broke. Okay, scraping. Where do I start?
At the
Uh,
beginning.
at the once upon a time, Gary.
Yeah. Brew was born in America.
Now fast forward. It's
Yeah.
like, so fast forward to Ireland. Yeah. Basically, yeah. There was the big crash happened, as you know.
Hmm.
The big, I mean, some people say the banking crash, whatever. Basically, there was a crash, and our show was worldwide, But of course, I'm thinking in my small little world here in Ireland. Well, it's more apparent here, and and things changed, and people were losing their jobs, or things got really expensive. I mean, in some ways, this particular song could go back to the very days when we changed from Irish pound to euros.
The
And
punt to the euro.
a
Yeah.
punt, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you remember the slogans back then? There were big billboards.
Mm,
The change is in your pocket. Oh
yeah.
yeah, the change was definitely in my pocket. There was no more change. Everything
Yeah.
got expensive, and everybody thought I was just moaning about, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I'm here long enough to know. I remember getting a pint for like 2.50.
Mm,
You can get pissed on a fiver. Now,
yeah.
ever since the euro, everything went up. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like everything went up. And
Yeah.
so you were
I
you were
liked the
really.
I liked the other thing as well, where you were saying, one of the lyrics is sort of saying, I'm in need of repair. And
Ah,
is that like, again, not that you're a bicycle with a slow puncture.
yeah,
Like, are
but
we
I,
are
I
we
felt like
talking
I hear.
physically, mentally,
Yeah,
or
I was equating myself to a car in need of repair. So that's just run down, because you feel like you're using this new currency. Um, Taxes, everything's going up, and normal goods are going up. You feel like you're always stuck with cash. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And I kind of wanted to write some kind of political statement, if you will, because
Mm,
again, none of my songs are political. I don't think they are anyway. But this one was definitely, there's a political edge to
mm.
this song, and I mean, some people thought, "Oh, are you slagging off bankers?" And well, in one part I am, but everybody else was slagging them, so why not just join
Yeah.
in? I mean, it's just like, I mean, because I remember, you know, years previous, back in the Celtic Tiger days, the banks and everybody was throwing money at me. That money that
Mm.
I didn't need. Do you want a 10,000 credit credit limit? I didn't need it. They just gave it to me. Overdraft, whatever. And then, and in today's world, you try to get a overdraft now for 20 euros. You're
Yeah.
public enemy
I
number
do
one.
remember I do remember that, in the, if you want to say, the good old days, that I do
Mhm.
remember even getting post in the door, and like
Yeah.
the post would be a sort of a specimen check, and it would have, made out to you, pre-guaranteed 20,000,
Mm.
and whatever. And then, like, the other thing, I think, even, I know what you're saying, it's about money and stuff like that, but I even think scraping now is perfectly ideal for these times we live in with COVID, you know.
Yeah, well, we're
We're
scraping
still
the crumbs.
scraping.
We're still scraping,
Mm,
and it was kind of like, and how did scraping come about? Well, I was invited to for my birthday weekend to go to London for a songwriters weekend, you know. And I remember trying to scrape the cash together to go. And one of my beloved dear mates who passed on, Barry Prout, fair play to him, you know, he just said, listen, how much do you need? You know, and then out of the blue, he said, oh, here you go. You're going. Happy birthday. Knock yourself out. And, you know, but again, but that whole, and then when I got to London, I needed an idea for the final project, if you will, you know, the final song to be recorded. And then I thought, okay, what can I write about? You know, so, well, let's write about how I came to get to London, how I had to scrape the cash from little bits here and there just to afford the plane fare and the hotel fees and the course fee as well. You know, and so
is that where that other lyric in the song came from? That opportunity, the opportunity knocks once.
Yeah, I guess that was the opportunity. Yeah, that this whole songwriting weekend, and it ended up being a giant opportunity because we had Your Mountain Squeeze was one of the speakers.
Glenn Tilbrook, was it?
No. Yeah, and then I recorded the original demo with Martin Stevenson and the Dainties. They're like an '80s folk band, and they were there. I mean, and then we had all these heads from PRS coming in. You know, so we had some. You know, half these guys were my heroes lecturing me on how to write a song. I'm like, oh my god, you know,
and could we even rewind and just, I'm not saying be negative, but think of, you know, the way like sometimes there's always FATE. I'm a huge believer in it. And thinking of where would Brew be if, what were you saying, your friend's name that passed away, Barry, was it?
Yeah.
If he hadn't given you that money to go for that opportunity, would we be, when I say, Jesus, what am I saying? I'm not releasing this album. When I say, would we still be here talking about legacy?
Yeah, it does make you wonder, because I actually had the riff of scraping for about 11 years.
Wow.
You know, and I liked it, so I just kept it, but I didn't know what to do with it. I just kind of shoved it away, but it was there, and I just, you know, I keep like a bank of riffs. And
that's what I was going to say, just ask you with the thing, do you record them, Brew, or do you keep them just in that noggin of yours?
Oh no, I record them. Yeah, I'm old school. I hear Exhibit A, hey,
tape recorder.
Yeah. I know all these guys have these Mac Pro books, and you know, these fancy Bandcamp whatever software. I got this, and I mean, I keep TDK in business in the shop.
Yeah.
You know, so
just as an aside, when you're talking about, I'm a child of the 80s myself. Can you still buy tapes?
Oh yeah. And I still buy them. It's so funny, you know, you see the people are kind of like, oh, you're the one buying the tapes, and it's like, you know, I mean, it's kind of a drag having to go through all the tapes to try to find the riff, you know, because there could be like, you know, I mark all the tapes, you know, on works in progress, number 1, works in progress 15, like, where's that riff? And you kind of have, it's like an adventure trying to go through the tapes and find where that riff is, because it's not titled, because it has those.
How often, Brew, have you, before we listen to scraping, how often have you been in your house with a pencil in a cassette trying to rewind the spools after it's got caught in the machine?
You know,
those days.
I have found a new distraction from Netflix during lockdown. I can spend all the time going through all the tapes now, and you know, there's nothing else to do, so I watch. But then you buy the batteries.
Yeah.
Thank God that's an essential item. But yeah, scraping. I was stuck for cash, and like we all were, you know. But I know there were some people who just thought, well, I think you're unfairly, you know, making this a banker's problem. You know, well, listen. If the majority of people are saying that, you know, they had something to do with it, then they can't all be wrong, you know. But and plus it kind of, you know, I think people kind of, there's a protest bit in the middle 8 of that song, you know. It sounds like I'm singing through a foghorn, I think, actually. You know, to make it sound like we're doing a protest on O'Connell Street, you know. Hey, you bankers.
That's it. That's it.
But look,
let's stop talking about scraping and let's have a listen, okay?
All right.
Beautiful.
Scrape it.
bikes and knees in need of repair. Oh yeah. Hey, you bankers!